Me Tie DoughTy Walker. There was a haunted house where every night a bloody head fell down the chimney. At least that's what people said, so nobody would stay there overnight. Then a rich man offered $200 to whoever would do it. And this boy said he would try if he could have his dog with him. So it was all settled. The very next night, the boy went to the house with his dog. To make it more cheerful, he started a fire in the fireplace. Then he sat in front of the fire and waited, and his dog waited with him. For a while, nothing happened, but a little after midnight, he heard someone singing softly and sadly off in the woods. The singing sounded something like this. Me Tie DoughTy Walker. It's just somebody singing, the boy told himself, but he was frightened. Then his dog answered the song. Softly and sadly, it sang, Lynchy kinchy collie molly dingo dingo. The boy could not believe his ears. His dog had never uttered a word before, and then, a few minutes later, he heard the singing again. Now it was closer and louder. But the words were the same. Me Tie DoughTy Walker. This time, the boy tried to stop his dog from answering. He was afraid that whoever was singing would hear it and come after them. But his dog paid no attention, and again it sang, Lynchy kinchy collie molly dingo dingo. A half hour later, the boy heard the singing again. Now, it was in the backyard, and the song was the same. Me Tie DoughTy Walker. Again, the boy tried to keep his dog quiet, but the dog sang louder than ever. Lynchy kinchy collie molly dingo dingo. Soon, the boy heard the singing again. Now, it was coming down the chimney. Me Tie DoughTy Walker. The dog sang right back. Lynchy kinchy collie molly dingo dingo. Suddenly, a bloody head fell out of the chimney and missed the fire and landed right next to the dog. The dog took one look and fell over, dead from fright. The head turned and stared at the boy. Slowly, it opened its mouth and... Ah! Story number 2, let's go. A man who lived in Leeds. Some say this rhyme doesn't mean anything. Others are not so sure. It goes like this. There was a man who lived in Leeds. He filled his garden full of seeds. And when the seeds began to grow, it was like a garden filled with snow. But when the snow began to melt, it was like a ship without a belt. And when the ship began to sail, it was like a bird without a tail. And when the bird began to fly, it was like an eagle in the sky. And when the sky began to roar, it was like a lion at my door. And when the door began to crack, it was like a penknife in my back. And when my back began to bleed, I was dead, dead, dead indeed. Ah! I'm beginning to piece together why this chapter is called Ah. It's another poem/song. Cheerful. There was an old woman, all skin and bone, who lived near a graveyard all alone. Oh, 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 she thought she'd go to church one day to hear the parson preach and pray. Oh, 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 oh. And when she came to the church house stile, she thought she'd stop and rest a while. Oh, 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 oh. And when she came up to the door, she thought she'd stop and rest some more. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. But when she turned and looked around, she saw a corpse upon the ground. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. From its nose down to its chin, the worms crawled out and the worms crawled in. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. The woman to the preacher said, "Shall I look like that when I am dead?" Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. The preacher to the woman said, "You'll look like that when you are dead." Now scream. Bring it! No, seriously, bring it.